Oh, it's spinning. A premium account was to create broadcast in the pro. Oh, okay. So it's just the Twitter thing. I got you. Okay, so it looks like we actually are live. Is cat typing? Hey guys, sorry, a little non-traditional introduction to the show today, and it's a little late. So Steve, as you know, went on vacation, uh, and he usually sets up the stream yard and all that stuff, and then drives the ship on the show here. Uh, it's just Al and I tonight right now, and we're sending messages into the group chat that it seems like Thursday night this week because other people seem to have obligations. So I think we're going to do the show Thursday night tonight, or Thursday night this week, rather. I'm so distracted because people are typing in the group chat, and I'm trying to figure out if they still want to do something tonight or not. That's cat typing. Let's see what she says. Thursday works, but I can jump on now. Just finished with a call. Do you want to do something real quick, Al, and talk with Cat for a minute and jump
I
off?
mean, look, man, I'm all about the wrestling world. I was at SummerSlam, so it's up to you, brother. I'm
Yeah,
just
you
here
know
to
what?
talk
Let's.
today or Thursday.
So, yeah, you know what? So, Cat, jump on if you can. We'll do a few minutes. Yeah, because while Cat's doing that, and while we get somebody in, it looks like we got somebody popped in the chat. That's cool. Hello, people. So while Cat's coming in, I guess just real quick, since we are live, um, for those of you who are just tuning in, we're going to do a bigger show, a fuller show on Thursday because it seems people's schedules are more open for Thursday this week. I'm waiting for Cat to jump in, and I need to flip over. Come on, this darn thing. I gotta remove that. Okay. I had windows in front of my windows and just blocking me out here. Okay, get back to the comments, get back to the chat. Hey Dave, let's see. If you ever heard the expression "never meet your heroes, don't believe it," Cross and Scarlet were awesome. Okay, and what's up, David? Um, I need to know more. Did Dave? So Al, did Dave go with you to SummerSlam?
Dave Abbey? No. Dave did not go with me. It was me and Mitch that went to SummerSlam night
Okay.
one. And night two, we ended up meeting up with two of our colleagues. And then
Oh,
we ended
nice.
up going together from Mitch's place. And then we split up at the end because we had different sections.
Okay.
But it was awesome. It's first of all, it's my first big event. It's my first PLE pay per view, whatever we
Oh,
call it.
wow.
I've only been to three events my whole life. One was when I was 9 years old. It was a live show. That main evented Yokozuna against the Undertaker as champion. Pretty cool.
Hmm.
Second was the 30th anniversary of Raw. So you've jumped roughly 30 years to my next show. And finally, I went to a pay per view for SummerSlam, which was absolutely awesome. Had some pretty good seats. Section 113, which literally splits camera side or across camera side, so you're on camera. So that angle.
Yeah.
So we had a great time. Me and my boy, we dressed up. He was Hulkster. I was Roddy Piper.
Oh, yes, dude. That's awesome.
We had an amazing time. The aura of a crowd. I'm a huge fanatic of. I love sports,
Right.
specifically baseball and football. Big Giants, big Yankee fan. I've heard the roar of stadiums when playoffs is around. I've never heard a roar of 60 plus thousand wrestling fans going ape shit crazy in like a main event fight or
Right.
for that matter any match. But the aura of the main event match, the last match of the night, uh Gunther CM Punk had that aura, but the that aura switched when obviously Rollins came out. But the aura of the beginning of that CM Punk Cena fight
Mhm.
was something like it was like fucking it was like a playoff football game on steroids, right? Like,
Mhm.
and you could only compare it to an AFC or NFC championship because the Super Bowl is a neutral site, so you really don't get to hear that
Right,
roar.
right.
But oh my god, that shit was it was phenomenal. It
And
was
did
absolutely phenomenal.
did you get to any of the like any of the access stuff or fan events or meet and greets or stuff like that or
I couldn't do any of that Saturday. and Sunday I was too hungover to do any of that either. So the
Nice.
answer to that is no and no, unfortunately.
Listen, that's a
Oh
good
man.
reason to not be able to make it if you were hungover. It's all good.
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely. I
that's
had a
true.
recharge, especially that Saturday to Sunday to do the rebound, the back to back. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, I that's a rough thing that the two night, and now they're saying that they're going to expand the two night thing past WrestleMania and SummerSlam. They're thinking at least Royal Rumble and Survivor Series are going to end up being two night events, full weekend events.
You know what I would love if they do that, to make the Royal Rumble a split, because I wouldn't like it if they do it. Not that I wouldn't like it, I wouldn't prefer them to do it like girls and guys in a way,
Mhm.
like one night girls, one night guys Royal Rumble.
Yeah,
I
I
would
think that
really
would.
like it for them to do it like an elimination style Royal Rumble, like the final five or the yeah, you like the final five against the last final five, and then they do like a untraditional traditional Royal Rumble with like there's other ways to win besides going over the top rope. I don't know. I would just like to see something different if they're gonna split up and make it a 2 day Rumble, because I would
Right.
still like to keep the intrigue of, because if like I think if you split Rumbles, I don't think night one would carry as much draw as night two. So they might fail one of the nights.
Yeah, I mean, they would definitely, the idea would probably be men's Rumble one night, women's Rumble one night.
Correct.
And the same thing with Survivor Series. If there's a big War Games match or if there's a big Survivor Series match, the main event it will be the women's Survivor Series or War Games, and then the men's Survivor Series or War Games the next night.
But you could, but that's I believe that's where you could showcase talent in a way, right? You could,
Well, you
for
got more
instance,
time, yeah.
there's always the 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 faction that's going up against the other faction. That in wrestling doesn't stop. It's always been there. We have it right now, right? So I'm
Right.
sure there's stories you and I can narrate here that we can make up a storyline all the way to War Games and make it make sense, and we'll probably like it. You also have the storyline and the old cliche one of a takeover. You have TNA crossing over now. You have NXT crossing over now. Like,
Yeah.
why not set something up like that for War Games? And you've already had some guys wrestle some TNA guys wrestle some WWE guys,
Yep.
so you already set the stone there, and you could create that on the women's side and the man's side, so they could do like a takeover together kind, and then we have to have our Avengers team up and have to overtake them at War Games, and then you can have your regular faction heel one, right? And that way you can have a girls' night main event and a boys' night main event in War Games, and then you have two on the other side. And I think that will draw a better takeout for both parts of the show.
Yeah, and I think the other thing you mentioned with the Royal Rumble of having something bleed over to the next night, you can do that with Survivor Series because you could bring back the old school Ultimate Survivor match, and then
Yeah.
have some
Or that.
Survivor Series matches on Saturday night, and then Sunday night you do an Ultimate Survivors match. And what the hell? Just say that if there's one or two Ultimate Survivors, they get a title shot for something just to keep it interesting. But you could do that. You could do an NXT versus TNA Survivor Series or War Games. You
Right.
could do an NXT TNA Rumble for both men and women, really. Then you could have the winner of the combined TNA NXT Rumble gets their choice of going after the TNA title or the NXT title, and that's kind of like how if you win the Rumble, you get the chance at the Raw or SmackDown World title.
You could even have a Legends mini Rumble to see which legends would make it in, because that's always a big thing to see with the Royal Rumble or whatever. Are there any legends going to pop up? Imagine, I don't want like the gimmick bowl or whatever, but a couple of them that could still go. That would be pretty interesting too.
Yeah,
I would I would go a step further. Every the two main shows both have, I mean, we both have major titles on both shows, right? Obviously, there's one title that whoever wins the Rumble gets the main event WrestleMania, but there's also the other title that the winner, usually we get the person that goes against them at Elimination Chamber, right? So, I
Mhm.
mean, in a way, you would have to get more creative in Elimination Chamber. And what you do with that, I guess you could drop it to a other belt or like a U.S. Championship match. But what I'm saying is this: what if you have each night a Royal Rumble because you have enough wrestlers,
Mhm.
one for each title, and you'll have one for the Heavyweight Championship and one for the WWE Undisputed Championship, and you do respectively for both male and female.
Ooh.
But the caveat is this: at Elimination Chamber, champion versus champion match,
Ooh.
and the loser of that match gets a triple threat match at WrestleMania with the winner of Elimination Chamber. But
Oh my
that way,
God.
there's more emphasis on both champions, and none of them has to lose their title, and you give them a match that's very relevant.
Hmm.
So it's like, hey, you don't lose your title, but your odds are now a third instead of half of walking away with your title at WrestleMania. And I think that'll be very intriguing. It will make for great storylines. You can have feuds outside of that from the guys that lose. You know,
Mm.
there's a lot that you could make from it. And I think it will be great story.
Huh. So that would be like, so they would still have the elimination chamber. The elimination chamber would guarantee that person entry.
A triple threat match at WrestleMania for either one of the belts, whichever loses that night.
And then the champions go head to head. Yeah, I could. I don't think they've ever done something like that. So
That's why
that's
I think it's
very interesting.
fresh, new, and I think it'll be cool. I like it a
And,
lot.
and to be fair, so as somebody who was at home watching it instead of at the arena, um, there was a lot of downtime on this weekend. The second night, not as much, but the first, like the Saturday night, there was a lot of downtime, and some of the matches were a little shorter. So I feel like they've got to make this 2-night thing. You know, if they're going to keep doing it, both nights have to be stacked. And not that there weren't main event level matches both nights, but like some of them I wanted to go a little bit longer. Like some of the matches, these are big name matches. A lot of them are title matches and stuff. I wanted them to go longer.
Or like you said, right? If like you already have enough credible high marquee matches, because it's true, like being there. Well, I might be a little biased because I was there, but like I thought, and I watched afterwards. At least night one, I saw it a second time.
Mm.
I thought they were excellent matches. The
Oh,
only
yeah.
match I disagreed with, and it was still a very good match, it was the result of Karrion Kross and Sami Zayn. I thought
Yes.
you don't put all that emphasis into a character, which went away from what we always say in here, right? They build somebody, they give them an opportunity. Usually you go over because Sammy will always be Sammy. And you're not giving fucking Sammy a title run right now. Let's keep it 100. It's not
Dude,
happening.
no. Even
So
as
I
much as
was
he wants to talk
disappointed
about it.
in the storyline aspect of that match, but
Thank
bless you.
you.
Thank you.
The match overall, I thought was at least a B minus B plus match, at least, you know. So I thought it was a good match.
Well, and that seems to be that's the story of this weekend is there were a couple definitive clean finishes that tells me that WWE is done with a couple people. They're done with Karrion Kross. They're done with Jade. And they might not be done with Gunther, but Gunther's cooked. Gunther's done. Like as far for 6 months, Gunther's done. They need to do something new with him now because he lost to the worst Uso and a 67-year-old CM Punk in like 2 back-to-back pay-per-views. It's fucking crazy. How is he supposed to be this big foreign threat, Ivan Drago? Ivan Drago lost 1 boxing match in his whole life, and it was to Rocky. Gunther shouldn't be losing this many fucking matches. It's crazy.
He beat fucking Goldberg. Sorry, Al.
He did. He did beat Goldberg, which is no, Al's happy he beat Goldberg. I'm happy he beat
No, I'm
Goldberg.
so sorry bringing up Goldberg.
Oh, no,
No,
wait
no,
for
no,
it.
no. Thank you for that. Fuck Goldberg.
There it is.
Thank you.
Okay.
That's
We've been
exactly what
waiting
I
for
meant.
that.
I almost forgot. Shit.
You still
Yo,
hungover?
if Goldberg ever sees me, thank God I don't put my face. If Goldberg ever saw me, he might want to kill me.
We met Goldberg once. He
Yeah.
wasn't. He was nice. We met him at a convention. Tag Me a Date had a table back in the day. And I went around and recorded all these interviews live streaming, and the Wi-Fi there was so crappy. I don't know if any of it went through. I interviewed Bobby Lashley's ex-wife, Crystal Marshall. Like we were just going around the tables interviewing people, and like the Wi-Fi was so bad. I really don't know if any of it. We did a full podcast from the booth, and I don't know if any of it ever went out.
Most of it did.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
'Cause it
because
was-
that's how I messaged Eric. I was like, dude, what the fuck? You never told me about this. So like 3 months after y'all did that, that was when you guys brought me on.
Oh my God, that's so that wow. Okay, now I understand the timeline more. It's been too long, but god damn.
Yeah, I've been on the show for 10 years now.
Wow. Yeah, you've been on almost as long as the whole shebang.
The fact that I've been on the show almost going on 4 years. Is
That's wild to me. I feel like Al just came on.
I know.
crazy. It's fucking nuts. Almost 4 years, bro.
Wow.
But you've never, like I said, Al, you've never been on when Amanda was on, correct?
No.
No, yeah, because she started doing. She got like a Tuesday night Raw recap podcast with somebody that I think was paying her. So obviously,
It was an all-female podcast.
yeah, and I
Oh,
think
okay.
they were doing it to like be monetized and stuff. We just do it because we like kicking around in the basement talking about wrestling, I guess. But yeah, she took.
I'm sick of being the only girl, please.
Well, yeah, so maybe on Thursdays, because I still think we should do a Thursday show, even though we're here talking about it right now, because I started it late because I was taking a nap, and when I woke up, I'm like, oh, I'll just wake up, go into the Facebook chat, click on the link like I usually do, and everything's good to go. And I went into the Facebook chat, and the last message was from Eric at 10:14 a.m. And I'm like, oh, there's no link. Oh, Steve's on a cruise. And then I go in and I'm like,
wait, I gotta do it.
All day.
yeah, and then because and again, this is not Steve's fault. Steve is going on vacation. He goes, before I leave on Saturday, I'm gonna put the link in StreamYard.
He did.
And he didn't, which is fine.
He did say that. I do recall him saying that. He asked you actually, would you like me to? And you said yes, that'll be great.
Yeah, but that's fine. And so I just went in. It's like 2 or 3 clicks. It's nothing serious. But like if it was pre-scheduled, then then maybe I wouldn't have had such a delay of like trying to figure out what the hell was going on. But long story short, we're here now, and I think Thursday night we'll definitely, because I think it would be nice to get Chairman can be on, Ryan can be on. I don't know if Eric can make it, but like we'll get a couple more people who were watching. So because Al went to the show. Me and Kat watched it on Peacock. We'll get a few more people that watch it on Peacock on Thursday night, and then we can kind of compare and contrast the experience.
I would say this. Going to a wrestling show and only going for the third time, the one thing that has starting to strike me, like, and I always thought about it, is why they don't allow the narration of the commentators to be broadcasted at the fucking events.
It's too loud.
Yeah, it would end up like because
Really?
then if they're playing it,
it'll severely echo through the entire especially in a building like that where there's no dome.
Okay.
The echo that you would get back and forth from the feedback of and the delay that happens in the microphone system, it would never work. It's way too loud.
That makes sense then.
Because so maybe you saw this on Saturday when people, like when you watched the replay on TV, if you notice the music is playing live from like the audio source, and we can hear the song playing, but then when the crowd is singing, they're like a half a second or a second behind because it takes time for that sound to go through the arena.
It has to travel, right. Sound
so
has to travel.
And it's just a little bit of a delay, and it would also probably might feed back into their microphones if it's too loud. But they used to do this cool thing. They don't do it anymore. For like $25, they would give you a little radio receiver with an earbud.
Yep.
And that radio, it would only work for like WWE live events. You would turn the thing on, and it would pick up the commentary signal. That they had like a special radio signal being broadcast. So when you were sitting there, you could like turn it on, and you could have the commentary live while watching the match.
That would be a great option, because I would definitely buy that 100% of the times if that was available.
Right. Like Al, like when they do like even though Alicia Taylor was abysmal this weekend.
Oh, she was terrible.
Boy, like whenever, even when she announces, you hear that echo when she's giving the introduction to the wrestlers. that's how that echo would sound throughout commentary through the whole thing. It is way too distracting.
Okay.
You cannot
Right, and
concentrate on that. And then
and they're
that's the other
way
thing
more
too.
active and excited, so it's gonna sound horrible.
Yeah, but like about it too, then the wrestlers in the ring are hearing the commentary live about what's happening during the match.
Right.
And then if so,
That's-
like let's say somebody runs in or the referee didn't see it, now you're broadcasting to the whole arena.
The referee didn't see it. The referee didn't see it.
He's got a handful of trunks. Wait, he did? Wait, the ref's got to reverse the decision. Nope, this match will continue.
Yeah, the referees already have to pretend to be blind. Now that then they would have to pretend to be deaf too.
Well, if it's Alicia Taylor.
Right. They have a tough enough job trying to be blind most of the time.
Yeah. Let's see.
Vince, you had me cracking up though with your comment about Alicia Taylor. That was the fucking funniest thing I heard all weekend.
Dude, I don't know if she listen, no knock on the girl. She's working for WWE. I have been an indie wrestling ring announcer since I was 21 years old. So who the fuck am I? But let me just tell you, it sounded like she did not eat enough fiber this week. And she was trying to squeeze something out while making a main event. And I'm like, what are you doing? You're like,
She's under fucking water.
yeah, she's the problem I have a lot of times what happens with ring announcers and radio personalities is that women try to sound like the men announcers, but you don't need to because you're not. It's a whole different thing. Like she puts this extra like vocal fry and a little bit of into her voice, and it's like that's not necessary. She's
trying too hard to be like Samantha. Samantha, it came to natural. Samantha, it came to her naturally to add those things like the Chelsea Green and like
Yes, yeah.
Kaiser, Giovanni, even like the shit that she would do was genius. She used her voice to be able to manipulate the names of the Miz. Like she would do all this crazy shit, but it sounded natural. This girl sounds like
outside of Howard Finkel and somebody else, Samantha's probably my favorite ring announcer of all times.
Yeah, I usually don't have a problem with it, but this weekend, for whatever, she did not. She just bugged me watching it from home.
Yeah, live she sounded horrible, so I'm assuming it was just horrible. Period. I thought she just sounded bad live.
Yeah, no, you could tell. Like, and even so, poor Michael Cole. If you listen to night 2, by the end of night 2, that guy's got almost no voice left. I think they gotta, if they're gonna do 2 night pay-per-views, they gotta rotate the commentary because he's worn out.
Yeah, Wade was out too. By the time Brock Lesnar came out, his voice was cracking, screeching.
It reminds me of the old days of like WrestleMania 17 or whatever. You'd go to an old WrestleMania that was like 5 hours, 6 hours long, and by the end of it, the commentators are hoarse, and it's like there's Michael Cole end of Sunday night.
What is it? Michael Cole does both. He does SmackDown and Raw. I'm having a brain fart right now. No, he just does SmackDown, right?
Yeah, but they had him. He was calling like a lot of matches. Like he ended up calling a lot of matches. Him and Wade.
Yeah,
what I'm saying is they should go back. They should go back to the old tradition where they used to do their SmackDown commentators for SmackDown and the Raw commentator for Raw. Since they have 2 nights, they could do it now.
That would make way more sense.
Or split the nights. Split the nights.
Besides, what's his name is Corey Graves, and Corey Graves is kind of very iffy on what he's doing because Carmella is pregnant again.
They should hire me and Vince then. You imagine, Vince?
Holy
shit.
I am an hour and 10 minutes from Stamford.
We'll start the show late. We'll have to apologize on national TV. We apologize. We hit the live button late.
Listen, I think as somebody who went to school for communications, I think it would be easier, honestly, to just hit the live button on a real TV board than try and mess around with StreamYard.
I'm pretty sure.
Only because that's like actual buttons, and this is like you got to tap go live and go live again. I almost messed up, but I got to know just real quick before we get into like more matches and stuff. How was it getting in and out of the stadium this year? Because we went to WrestleMania 35 and leaving, there was a whole bunch of people, including people I know, who had to wait for Ubers until like 2:00 in the morning. It was very difficult to get in and out of the parking lot, and it was just like it was chaos that year.
So me and Mitch went through trials and tribulations because he actually went to an event once and Ubered there, and it was horrible for him to do it. So he lives 15 minutes away from there. He lives in Hackensack.
Oh,
So we decided, I pick him up. This is night one. I pick him up. We ended up getting a parking pass. We paid a little bit more to get platinum to get as close as we can to the stadium, because our thinking was, we get in, we get out. By the time we're in our car, there's still people, like walking to their car.
yeah.
Hopefully, we're out of here quick, bro. We were out of MetLife in 15 minutes, which was awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, if you drive, see, we had a similar experience where me and my folks drove in and drove out of the stadium, and we were out, 15, 20 minutes. But people we knew who were trying to get ride shares, Ubers, Lyfts, and all that shit, they were shit out of luck.
Crazy.
Yeah, that was chaos.
Night two was a little bit different. Night two, like I mentioned, we went. Well, I think I told you before the show. We went. It was me and Mitch and two of our buddies that we work with.
Yeah.
We had in different sections, obviously. They go their way. They had one job, not to lose each other. They lost each other.
Oh no.
The guy that got lost, his phone died.
No.
To make it worse, he has two cell phones and they both died.
Are
True
you
story.
kidding me?
So long story short, it took us a little bit longer to get out of there. It took me 2 hours to get out of MetLife.
Ah!
That sucks.
Yeah, I didn't get home till like 1:30, 2 in the morning. It's pretty bad.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's too much.
Pretty bad.
Man, well, at least you made it for tonight. We'll go through some of the comments real quick. Our buddy Dave Roscoe, what's up, David? CM Punk sucks and sunk the world championship to Seth Rollins. Yeah, he lost. We'll get into the big headlines from these things in a minute here, because I do want to go over the show a little bit, and then on Thursday night we'll have more people. Speaking of more people, oh hey, Autumn has thoughts too, I'm sure. What's up, Eric?
Hey, how's it going?
What's up, E?
Good, man.
Just got home from work. I thought I'd
hell
pop on. I've been listening on the way home.
Yeah, so I mean, we were talking like, oh, we'll do it, and we still will do a Thursday show, but like nobody was around, and I started the show late, so we thought we weren't gonna have a full show. So we'll do a little, we'll do whatever.
We have
can
a
do
party
here.
now. We have a
do.
party.
Tara wants to bring Lillian back. I wish she would come, even if it's just I would split it. Have her just announce the women's matches. Have somebody else announce the men's matches, and it's like a special thing when she comes out. Or have her announce like main event matches. Make it a special thing when she comes out.
Like they used to do with Howard.
Exactly. And
I have an idea.
Yeah.
Why not let R-Truth do some matches and let him announce some matches? You ain't doing shit with R-Truth. Let him announce some of the funnier matches or the low card matches, And
Oh
maybe
God,
he
that
could
would
start
be
a feud that way, and he could get him into shit. He'll be that one announcer that starts feuds with wrestlers. Like,
dude, I would love it if he was just like he would announce somebody and like the feud starts because he's like, ladies and gentlemen, the Road Warriors, and the tag team is like, what? And they're like, we're the LWO. What are you talking about? We're not the,
right.
Road
Oh,
Warriors.
my bad.
Oh, my bad.
Or
That's
like,
on
remember,
me, dog.
what was it? The SummerSlam, which I'm going really histrionic here, but SummerSlam '89, when Rugged Ronnie Garvin was the special guest announcer and totally ranked Greg the Hammer Valentine the whole introduction.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had the custom insulting intro. That would be great. And
Vince,
What was
could
it?
you imagine him?
What was it? Oh my God. It was WrestleMania 8 when Ray Combs from Family Feud did that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Could you imagine? You imagine R-Truth introducing DIY, ladies and gentlemen, Triple H and Shawn Michaels,
D-Generation X, and he
D-Generation X.
starts like doing the suck it and other stuff. And they just walk up to him like, hey, we're DIY. And he's like, what? DIY? Oh, my bad.
My bad. That's on me. That's on me.
No, he'd be like, no, you're Shawn Michaels, you're Triple H. What's going on? It'd be like that one moment in the ring with Adam Pearce. Are you sure that's not Triple? Are you sure that's not Tommaso Ciampa?
Oh, that would.
How about Adam Pearce last night? He grew some balls.
About time.
When did Adam Pearce learn how to speak Spanish, by the way, too?
I feel like Adam Pearce was from California, so he probably always knew a little bit.
Like the whole Paul Heyman thing a couple of weeks ago was really freaky enough with him just speaking Spanish out of nowhere. Then I'm like, wait, Adam Pearce speaks Spanish now too? What the hell?
They saw Hangman Adam Page cut a whole promo in Spanish for 10 minutes straight, and then they're like, okay,
I'm
we
gonna
got
tell
to
you
do this
what.
now.
As a Latino, I'm gonna tell you that was very impressive for Adam Cole. I didn't know he had that in. I mean, not
Adam
Adam Cole,
Page.
Adam Hangman.
Yeah.
I didn't know he had that in him.
Neither did I. That was unbelievable.
That was fucking damn near perfect Spanish.
And
Yep.
yeah, and you know, the whole story of his family owning a tobacco farm, the people who worked on the
Yeah.
farm spoke Spanish, and he cut what I like about it is he cut the whole promo in Spanish. Excalibur was kind of translating, but like he was speaking pretty fast where you couldn't like word for word translate it, but they didn't shy away from the fact that they were in Mexico and he needed to speak Spanish to them. Like,
But for me, that even translated better because, like, our dialects are all different in its own.
yeah,
And us, like Central Americans, like Caribbean and Central American, we speak very fast, very fast. Our dialects are very quick. So I thought that even attached more to the Mexican crowd because of how fast he spoke and how, for me, it was pretty clear the way how he was speaking so fast, being, you know, of Anglo-Saxon descent. I'm like, God damn, this white boy is killing this shit. Like, he was really in there. It was a great promo.
Yep.
Yeah, man, and he's the right.
He's how you to speak New Yorican like I do.
The guy's the right choice.
I couldn't, because I'm gonna speak what we call Dominican York.
Dominican York.
There it is.
Yep.
And Hangman was the right choice. I don't know.
Yep.
I have the AEW. Yes, I did in fact get an AEW world title tattoo, but instead of the AEW logo, it's a little cowboy skull smoking a cigarette. So I got the Hangman here.
Yeah,
no,
that's
not
pretty dope.
Cowboy shit.
Oh.
Yeah, right, like a rhinestone cowboy.
This is the wrong show. This ain't Tanya's show. This ain't a jewelry show. This
I'm
is a
not
wrestling.
the rhinestone cowboy. But and Dave with the comment for the very close of the evening, the last shot you see, holy shit for Lesnar was hysterical. Yeah, we'll get into all of that. We'll, you know, since we're here, let's start with night one. Let's see. I guess we'll go right from the bottom. Naomi retains her title against Rhea and Io. I think that's the right call.
That was night 2.
Oh, that was
one.
night 2. Oh,
that was night 2. That was beginning of night 2.
So WWE put night 2.
Night 1 started with, I think I know the whole matchup. Night 1 started with the brothers, the Bloodline, versus the Dogs, the Bronson and Braun Breaker.
Yes, the Roman Reigns wanted to go home early match.
Yes, 100%.
Roman was in the opening match. He went out there. Listen, Roman was like, hey, this is SummerSlam. I got to do something big. He came out with this dive that I've never seen Roman Reigns do before in his fucking life.
Almost broke his neck.
He jumped so high and so far, he overshot the guys, which is amazing because they're gigantic. They're not small guys. And yeah, he started, his head and his shoulders started turning. He did basically a whole flip outside of the ring. Holy shit. But that was,
that's all I gotta say.
and then they won, which is great because we kind of thought they were gonna, you know, pin.
But Paul didn't give back the damn sneakers.
No, and then on Monday he stole another pair.
It's
fucked up.
Yo, the big dog's getting punked, man.
Well, somebody online said that Bronson Reed is
the tribal thief has the Shula Fala.
Exactly. The tribal chief has the Shula Fala. I think he should have enough. He should steal enough sneakers where he can tie all the laces together to make a full necklace.
An Ulafala.
And the new shoe champion is Brock.
All right. And yes, is there anything better? There's nothing better than a Shula Fala. And yeah, everybody screamed holy shit when Brock Lesnar came out. We will get to that one for sure. Yeah, so WWE's website had night 2 above night 1 in the results list. So I don't know. I started reading night 2 I think that's a weird decision. But anyway, the next one up here, the women's tag team championship match. We had the champions Raquel and Roxanne going in, and they left not champions. We have new women's tag team champions in Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. The will they, won't they, are they friends? We can't say the F word team, which is we thought it was going to happen. We were talking about this on last week that they're hot right now. They're going to put the titles on them. And we'll just see what happens with Raquel and Roxanne after this. Are they going to be good? Is there going to be tension? Like,
I'll tell you what, I normally am very annoyed with Charlotte in the ring with a lot of stuff that she does. She was actually pretty solid performance on Saturday.
Because she can wrestle like a babyface now. She does. When she's a heel, she wrestles one way. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's just nice to see her getting shit. Like, it's so refreshing to have a babyface Charlotte Flair, because otherwise it's the same thing. My dad was a champion. I'm going to be 16 times champion.
Woo! Yeah.
And it's the same old shit. So this is great. You show a little bit more personality.
I thought they were going to win. I picked them to win, but I truly wanted the Judgment Day to keep the titles for a long run storyline aspect.
Yes. Yeah.
That I really liked, and I think they could have evolved in branched out in many different ways, and could not do no wrong with it. I just that's my main worry about it, because we know what's gonna happen. One of them is gonna kick each other in the future, and they had enough of it. And then I would hope it's not Charlotte that turns heel. I would actually want them to turn Little Miss Bliss heel. That way, it could be a different swerve, because I'm thinking we're all thinking that Charlotte will be the one to turn on her.
Exactly.
I just hope they do it right, but I just really hope again that they preserve the Judgment Day. I wouldn't even be mad if the Judgment Days are the one that get the belt back from them.
And they could, because you just gave me a thought here of they're talking about our Charlotte and Alexa friends, and like, are they going to finally say that they're friends? And that's going to be like the big thing, is eventually, oh, we're friends. Everybody goes crazy. What if there's a group out there that says, Alexa, you don't need friends, you need your family. And the Wyatt Six.
Both play important roles in our lives.
Alexa, stop. My Amazon Alexa had the. So the Wyatt Six turns Little Miss Bliss back into Funhouse. You know what I mean? Like Firefly Funhouse version of her.
I like it.
And that's how you start the turn, is that Alexa turns heel by joining the Wyatt Six. She turns on Charlotte. They lose the titles, and then go ahead. Hands. I see hands.
Okay, so I have some thoughts about this match. I think the match was actually pretty solid. I was actually home to watch it. However, Al, I disagree with you on the Judgment Day thing. I think they need to banish it. I think it is stupid. I think that Dominic Mysterio needs to finally drop his title, because he is boring to watch sometimes. I don't know what we're doing with Finn Balor. I don't know what Lord Farquaad, JD McDonough's doing with his eggplant looking self. And then we have Raquel and Roxanne, who it's thing one and thing two. They're boring to watch. I'd rather watch paint dry than watch them wrestle as a tag team. I need Liv Morgan back. I can't wait for her to come back, because I want her to beat the ever-living shit at Roxanne Perez.
I didn't breathe that entire time. I don't know about anybody else.
For the week.
Holy shit.
I mean, look, I mean, that's the great thing about this country, right? You're entitled to it. It's your opinion.
I
No,
think
you're wrong.
I mean, no, I just
No,
that was
however, I can tell you this much. I believe that Perez is a very good wrestler. I think she's not
she's gonna
boring
be
at all.
she's gonna be big.
I believe that what's her name, the big one, Roxanne Perez, does a great job of being you might be a little young for this, but a Diesel to Shawn Michaels Perez, Alexa Perez, if that makes any sense.
That's
and I like them. I like them as a little clique, and I just like the Judgment Day overall, because they're one of considered the OG cliques of today's era, right? Like, they've been around for a while, and they're interested when you put belts on them, and they are some of those people that need belts to stay relevant. You know,
It's
is it
funny you
sad to
mentioned
say?
that.
Maybe, but they're still on TV.
It's funny you mentioned
I
that
don't know.
because
I do like them though. And I just think for the long run, like when what you call it, Liv comes back, she gonna be mad as hell about this reunion, and she gonna want like her territory back. And the
Right.
Judgment Day overall is gonna have to make a decision, and Finn Balor is gonna look as the Mephisto of all this, and he's gonna be the one that truly caused them to break up.
Yeah. I just have one thing to say, adding to that. So the whole Diesel Shawn Michaels thing, you can ask Mom. I had a very big obsession with Shawn Michaels when I was younger. Like I watched her DVD of like Shawn Michaels' greatest matches on repeat all the time. And like with the whole
Because it was stuck in the DVD player in the car.
yes. However, personally, I've never, ever liked Raquel. Never. Never have. But Roxanne, I liked her. Like when she was in NXT, she had this whole like bond thing with Booker T because that he trained her and everything, and she went to his school and everything. That's the Roxanne I like. I don't like her as a heel. I personally can't stand her as a heel. There's some heels I can tolerate, and there's some heels that I want to rip their heel off. She is one of them.
She's too
Sure.
little to be a face.
Well,
Outside of
No,
Rey Mysterio, faces are like
mm,
she's
she's
like tiny.
She's the same size as
Alexa Bliss.
Alexa Bliss.
Is she? I thought she was tinier than her.
No,
No, I
No.
just mean like I don't know.
they're probably
She's
like
like
the
a
same
little
size.
too. I don't know.
she's shorter than Liv Morgan, but taller than Alexa Bliss. She's
Gotcha.
she's a
Damn,
little bit
Alexa's that little? All right, I'll take that back. I
Yeah,
didn't know
Alexa's
Alexa was
like
that little.
4. She's
But
like
the-
4'11.
but the Diesel
Yeah.
comparison though is right, especially because recently Kevin Nash gave advice to Raquel and said you got to work like a giant, like
Yeah,
like
and she's been taking that advice. She's been
Yeah.
working. She's been
she's
been
been
doing
working bigger. So
Doing the best work she's ever done. There's no
I'm not
question
taking
about
that-
it.
I'm not taking that away from her.
it reminds me of what the Diesel work she did with Dakota Kai in NXT.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tara, God help me, I'm actually starting to like Dominic Mysterio. Uh-oh.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's over like Rover. I think he'll be,
Absolutely.
he's gonna end up being a big starting with WrestleMania, you could see people wanted to cheer for the kid, and like he's gonna end up being a big baby face by the end of this.
He's a fucking talented kid as all hell.
I think he's reached
crazy.
the point we're past the point now where he doesn't even need a belt anymore.
Yeah, and I
He's
think
that
that
over.
they're setting it up for him to lose that Intercontinental title. He can do something else with now.
Right, but the only other titles he's held besides the tag team titles is an NXT title. So it is high time that he has some form of a title on to give the recognition for the fact that, because like I said, compared to the kid that had his first WrestleMania inside the Thunderdome, did not have
Yeah.
his first match in front of an audience until the following year's WrestleMania. I mean, the first time the kid ever went out there was a WrestleMania. So he has
Yeah.
come so
Look how
far.
much he's evolved in that time. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he changed his gear. He changed, he definitely improved in the ring. The heel turn was really what he needed because the baby face I'm Rey Mysterio's kid thing really wasn't working. And going with the whole he's a deadbeat dad, I'm a hardened criminal because I went to jail for an hour in a holding cell. Like the whole thing is great, fucking
I can
great.
see him being
Any wrestler that, like, as an initiation receipt, took as many kendo sticks as that kid.
He got the shit beaten out of him by Seth. What were you saying, Al?
I can see Dominic Mysterio being the perfect candidate for the next Money in the Bank.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
next year.
It'll
By
be the
ne- by-
perfect. It'll be the perfect way how he could win his first championship.
Absolutely, he lies, he cheats, he steals.
100%.
So we'll try and get. I mean, geez, we started late, and now we're already at 10 o'clock. So I'm gonna try and get through this as quickly as possible. But the next one, because we need to talk about this. After the women's tag team championship match, we had Sami Zayn and Karrion Kross, and apparently, Karrion and Scarlett, their contracts are up this weekend. It doesn't appear that they're being re-signed, and like clockwork. Because I knew as soon as I started talking about Cross and Scarlett, Dave, Abby. I still don't understand the whole Cross situation. WWE was filming at the bookstore on Friday night. Not sure why would they waste their time if this was the end. Fucking exactly, my guy. This is crazy. The whole story was set up for Sami Zayn to, like, you know, lose this match so that Cross could. It felt like this was the first step of Cross winning this to continue this feud with Sami, to be like, hey, I was right, you were wrong, Sami. Now you need to be more like me or whatever. And there was a direction to this. This is like when John Cena and Bray Wyatt were feuding for WrestleMania 30, and Bray Wyatt kept telling him he needs to embrace the dark side, this, that, and the other thing. And then when the match happened, there was no such embracing of the dark side. There was no pivotal moment. I mean, there was a pivotal moment in the Sami match, but the Cena match, there wasn't like a pivotal, you have to pick your destiny moment. Sami went the Cody Rhodes route and threw the pipe away instead of using it, and it paid off, and he won. And, you know, so the whole storyline of Sami losing a step, Cross mentoring him and giving him advice, oh, you need to be more like me. The whole story is done now because he beat Cross. There's nowhere else. You can't go anywhere with that. You can't have the guy manipulating him behind the scenes be the guy he just fucking lost to. So the whole thing is shot. It seems like Scarlett and Karrion Kross are done if they're just not re-signing them this weekend. So what the fuck were we doing with Karrion Kross the last however long he's been signed? Oh, even, yes, Dave, you're right, dude. If the match was Cross losing because Sami used the pipe, or Sami hit him and the referee called for a DQ, and Cross is laying on the ground bleeding, laughing because he won, technically, and Sami's standing there with the pipe, and Sami had like, and Sami like looks at the pipe and looks at his hand, oh no, what have I done? Like, there's somewhere to go from there. There's nowhere to go from here. What you ended the feud at SummerSlam, and now Karrion Kross is probably on his way out.
On the bright side, he did very well in TNA, so he could go back to being Killer Kross in TNA should he go there.
Yeah, but then he's going to be feuding with fucking NXT guys.
Right, yeah, no, I know.
It's not the point, though, because they built him up so much. He is so over with the crowd. Like, even at the press conference, the crowd was chanting, we want Kross, and he goes, you want Brock? You got him. Like,
Dude,
no, they're building him as a fucking baby face because he's so over.
Fucking book him as anything, whatever. This is going to be such a huge waste if they do not renew them or whatever, because this will be what? This will be the second time or third time he's been released in three or 4 years.
Yeah.
And again, like Al brought up before, Sami doesn't need the win. He could Sami. He's fine. He'll go win the Rumble in Saudi or something. Fine. But like, and especially if he's going to end up doing a nothing stupid little thing with Rusev now, like why have him to win then?
The thing also is, we keep in mind, I didn't know he was getting released. If I knew he was getting released, I'm like, all right, there's no way they're going to put a guy over that's going to get released over a guy that's staying in their company. So if that were the case, then I don't know what it was. I guess it was a way to show good trumps over evil. I guess that was the whole thing.
But does Kross have the support that R-Truth did to bring him back?
I don't think he does.
No, I don't think so.
He hasn't built up that.
I'm curious, Al, what was the crowd's, I mean, we hear crowd reaction, but we also know we get dubbing of like, cheers and shit and everything. What did the crowd's reaction to Karrion losing? How did that go over?
Not too happy. You have your Sami fans, the younger crowds and the kids, but you could tell it was a mixed crowd, mixed reaction.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And then Dave
definitely
says
heard the boos,
Oh, yeah. For sure. You could hear people were disappointed. Mostly Dave Abbey. They're also the nicest people. Cross and Scarlett spent at least 3 to 4 minutes talking to everyone that was there. Yeah, sometimes you go to these autograph signings, it's very much put your stuff down on the table, they sign it, you shake a hand, take a picture, and you walk away. The fact that they spent time and talked to people, yeah, that's always a plus, man.
Stayed behind the last Raw. It was on the WWE website, not this week's obviously, but like a week or two ago when they were leaving, they stayed behind for over an hour for people coming through because they were kids and everything. And Scarlett noticed him in a wheelchair, and she was like, "Nope, get over there." And he was sitting with the kid in the wheelchair and everything, and like the wheels.
He's doing
Like-
all the right stuff. I don't understand. He's doing all the stuff you want a superstar to do. He's working on his, he's got his look now. He's got this promo style. He's staying after and signing autographs. He's doing the social media stuff. He's doing the media rounds and interviews. It just seems like a guy you want around.
He's a total package dude.
This guy is going to, like, especially if this is a fact and he's going to be released, he's going to make a killing at conventions and shit.
Oh yeah,
big time.
He'll be back doing all
killing,
the stuff.
No pun intended, but yeah.
But yeah, he'll go back. He'll do an indie run. He'll do GCW. He'll do Bloodsport. He'll do all this other stuff that he used to do when he was on the indies.
For me, a lot of times, like now, I don't even get mad when people get released because it's like it could be my
right.
It could be good for me because then I'm going to WrestleCade, and then a lot of times these people get released and they do that, and then I get to meet them, so it's awesome for me.
And it's a good opportunity. Yes, losing your job is terrible, but some people like Toni Storm, it was the best thing that ever happened to her. So sometimes you just need that change of scenery.
Yeah, look what it's done for Matt Cardona.
And I would, if not that they need any more AEW wrestlers because their roster is already pretty damn full, but if they had Karrion Kross come out one night and just choke out Kyle Fletcher, the TNT champion, and then you've got Fletcher versus Cross, I would be all about that in a second. So I mean, there's a lot of people he could wrestle in AEW that would be great.
Totally. This isn't about the loss this isn't about that he's not going to get picked up or he's not going to gain something or it's not going to be beneficial. It's about the stupidity inside the WWE.
Yeah, that's
right.
what we're mad at. Yeah.
Yeah. No, they're dropping the ball on this guy, for sure.
They almost always drop the ball on striking when the iron is hot. They
yeah, and they're 2 years
fail
behind
at that.
him anyway. Like they should have put him over for something, Intercontinental US title, whatever, 2 years ago, and he would be set up for success.
Some form of a belt since he's been up at the main roster. 100%.
For sure. Speaking of belts, the next match we'll just do we'll go up through night 1, and then night 2 we'll have Chairman and Ryan and everybody on Thursday night. We'll do 9 o'clock Thursday night for those of you who want to see the second half of this. But women's championship match, Tiffany Stratton in what I think was the upset of the weekend in terms of
I was not expecting that.
Results that we thought were a lock, like 100% lock. I would have put money down on Jade Cargill winning that match. And very definitively, Tiffany Stratton wins clean, no funny stuff. No cheating, no interference. This was a clean loss, and the reports coming out of the weekend are that WWE no longer have faith in Jade as a main event level player in the women's division.
Well, it's about time the WWE woke up on that shit. I've only been saying that since he showed up at the Rumble.
And as Dave says, it was almost a squash match, and it was almost a squash match. And I thought it was going to be the other way around. I thought this was going to be, was it China versus Ivory at WrestleMania, where she just picked her up and threw her around for 2 minutes and pinned her to win the women's title. I thought this was the summer of Jade, but Jade's not ready for a title. Well, listen, we all think it, and I agree, but you sign somebody, you bring them into the Performance Center, you give them all this hype, you give them a bunch of WrestleMania matches and a bunch of notable matches, and then you're done with them. She
It
loses
almost
to Tiffany
makes you
Stratton.
think that maybe they should have had her start in NXT for a bit first.
They only brought her to the main roster to give a middle finger to AEW. When AEW and the AEW fans figured out she needs development, somehow she needs developmental, she needs more reps. That was always the biggest criticism of Jade in her AEW career was she's good, but she only wrestles once a week with AEW. If she was on the road somewhere or worked the indies or did the Performance Center, she'd be wrestling more and training more. She did train with Daniel Bryan during her AEW run, but
I don't think she's good, period.
no, I don't think. I think she's one of those people that has very good fit. Like she played basketball in college. Maybe she's good at that. But yeah, she's not
for the business. She's not.
She's
But
got a great look,
You'd think because of the look that she would, you know.
and that gets you 90. If you have a good look, that gets you 90% of the way there. You can be look at like a Hulk Hogan.
She had a good look. She couldn't do jack shit.
Right. And then, that's just the thing. I think that she got any other era. Jade is probably already a world champion at least once. But now you've got,
Yeah,
during like the women's, like during the Attitude Era, they would have already had Jade as a women's world champion. But I think now that the bar is higher. I think there's a expectation of the women's champion. Even Nia Jax, who people criticized for years for her ring work, were okay with her winning the Queen of the Ring and winning the championship because when she came back, she improved. She changed things up. Like she's really, in that time off, she found something. And Jade, God bless them, 2 different companies have tried. And I don't know if there's any helping her. I don't know what it's almost like, what do you do with a problem like Jade?
Fortunately for her, she's got such a look that she'll always be employed by,
Yeah, and I mean, no, it's not that she will be unemployed after this. She's going to go somewhere. But yeah, man, and I don't know what to recommend to her, because if she really is training with people and going through the process and like going to the PC sometimes, she should be showing improvement. Her promos are still very stiff. She talks like a fucking Google Assistant or something. Like, I don't know. It's just yeah, she's very robotic with her promos. I mean, she looks $1 million, and she's obviously an athletic person in terms of, what she can do cardio wise and lifting weights and training, but she just does not have that would be a big help. She can just sit there and pose.
A mouthpiece would have changed her trajectory in WWE.
I agree.
Drop the ball on that.
Big time.
Julia and Stephanie spent more time in NXT than Jade, and they're both on the top of their games. Dave is right. But also,
Julia and Stephanie were both already very popular, acclaimed wrestlers before they went to NXT. Those 2 have been stars for years. It's just the first time they are gone mainstream that people are getting to see her.
Before AEW, was Jade anything? Did she do anything, or was that her first?
Jade was literally a professional cosplayer who would get hired to go to conventions as different, like Marvel. She played Storm a lot.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how she got That's how she got noticed, was that she had hundreds of thousands of followers on social media because her cosplay of Storm looked so much like Storm from the comic books.
Didn't they have her do like a mixed tag with Shaq?
Yeah, WWE had her do a mixed tag with Shaq.
AEW.
Shaq is technically both undefeated in AEW and missing in action because Shaq got loaded into an ambulance and was never seen again. So canonically in AEW, Shaq is still in the hospital.
Didn't he get put through a table by Cody Rhodes?
He did, in fact, get put through a table by Cody Rhodes. He said, "Cody, I thought you were down for the culture. Why did you do this?"
See, you should have predicted that Jade was going to lose, though, and go, a storm is here, and then all of a sudden it starts fucking raining on her.
It was. I thought that was a shocker for me. I thought
the
that
storm
was
is over. Apparently.
I thought that was the one result that I couldn't question this weekend.
Yeah, no, I had Jade losing.
And then Dave Abbey, Mark Henry discovered her, got her to start training. Yeah, that makes sense. They're both. I think they're both Texas people.
See, but there isn't a complete difference of a person, though, or whatever. Mark Henry was not cut out for this business. He wasn't like when his first run when he was the USA guy or whatever. He was terrible. But he worked, he trained, he did everything. Even Trish Stratus goes down as having the worst match in professional history with Jackie Gata and JBL and everything. I forgot that abysmal match.
Yes.
That girl turned it around, was like, you know what? I want to do this. And she worked her ass off to be probably still to this day one of the greatest female wrestlers that company ever produced.
Her turnaround was amazing.
Yes, she did it. You know what? Even like Liv Morgan. If you thought
yes, that's another one.
10 years ago that we were going to say that the only surviving member of the Riot Squad was going to be Liv, would have called you a liar because of Ruby Riott and Sarah Logan, but Liv's the one that's going to be have the best year ever out of all 3 of them.
Well, look at Carmella. She lasted longer than Enzo and Cass. Out of the 3 of them, we thought that
Yeah, that's wild that she lasted longer than both of them.
And Naomi, because she was a Funkadactyl for Brodus.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I think everybody. Oh no, the other girl wasn't very good either. But
All
Naomi,
nonsense.
Karen, she was awful.
yeah, no, she was bad.
Yeah.
So we have our.
Match of all time is like, a Melina match or whatever.
Yes,
No.
she was on Tough
I
Enough.
think,
And yeah,
I think the worst women's match ever was in TNA Charmel versus Jenna Maraska.
that's up there as one of the
That's the
worst
one.
ones.
But that was, but the Trish Stratus thing was a mixed tag match. That's what made that so
Yeah,
abysmal, is that the men that were seasoned wrestlers in that match even made
And
it look
Trish is an anomaly too, because she went from abysmal to really good in a 2-year period.
the other bad one was Rebel versus Shelly Martinez at a
Yeah.
TNA women's pay-per-view. That was the one where
Neither of them were very good. in the first place.
Rebel hit Shelly Martinez with a low blow, and Shelly Martinez screams out loud, "Taz, my vag."
yes. I was I'm trying to forget that match.
One of the worst. So speaking of celebrities, this celebrity match came off a lot better than the celebrity match we just mentioned with Jenna Maraska for sure. Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul in again another finish that I thought, wow, good for them for going with the heels. Beat Randy Orton and Jelly Roll. Jelly Roll, the formerly like 400 pounds, former convict, former drug dealer. This guy cleaned his fucking life up, platinum records, touring all over the place, and just goes, you know what? I'm going to drop 100 pounds so I can become a fucking pro wrestler.
I
Holy
love it.
shit.
And not only that, I got to give a lot, even more respect to him, because he took fucking bumps and shit.
He took the fucking table spot frog splash.
Yeah.
That was
Holy
crazy.
shit.
He did, yeah. He
That
did
was
not.
wild.
I was not expecting him to like sell that much. It was incredible.
No, I didn't expect that either. I feel like this is not his last match. He's going to be
No,
back.
not at all.
Even the sidewinder that he put on freaking Drew McIntyre was like, what the fuck did you just do?
I mean, shit. Before he lost the weight and he did that double choke slam, that even like that was good. Now
Yes.
he lost 100 pounds and
He's way
wow.
more mobile. Yeah. And
he wants to keep that. He wants to keep that wife of his. He's gonna keep losing more weight.
And this is another thing where if you grew up a wrestling fan, like obviously the Paul brothers did, and Jelly Roll did, and Bad Bunny did, you get it. If
Now
you're
we took a free jelly roll.
if you're Travis Scott, you don't get it, and you don't understand.
That dude didn't even fucking try.
So this match was supposed to be Drew McIntyre and Travis Scott against Randy Orton and Bad Bunny. But once Travis Scott stopped training and the relationship between him and WWE soured, they pivoted. So Bad Bunny was out, Logan Paul and Jelly Roller in, which also tells me that Bad Bunny wants to get back in the ring, and I don't see anything but like, why wouldn't you have two like fucking Grammy winners wrestle each other? That would be amazing. Bad Bunny versus Jelly Roll.
Yeah, and I'm still waiting on Bad Bunny versus Logan Paul.
Yes, that should be.
Well, why can't we have Bad Bunny and Jelly Roll versus Logan Paul and someone else?
Yes, exactly. There you go. We could definitely do that.
Could very well.
Oh, could you?
That after the performance that Bad Bunny put in that street fight with Damian Priest, he clearly can take the bumps and he can throw. Jelly Roll needs a little bit more time to have more endurance or whatever to go a full match. So a tag team match with the two of them against somebody.
Yeah,
What would you say about Bad Bunny and Jelly Roll events against the Paul brothers?
Book it. Let's do it. I wouldn't be. I would be okay with that. I think it would also, and again, this is just me being me, trying to think of what I would do if I was in their position. I would have Jelly Roll and Bad Bunny collaborate on a song that they're going to use as their entrance, perform the entrance live as they're coming out.
Dude, that would be brilliant.
And sell the single on iTunes, and then you make so much fucking money from it.
Oh my God, I would love
a Bad Bunny Jelly Roll collaboration.
Look back at the whole Cyndi Lauper, Captain Lou, and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's a good integration.
What we're gonna do to you? No, sorry.
The Goonies are good enough.
Oh my God.
man.
Somebody get that idea over to them
That
because I
music
want
video.
I want
Oh
that
man.
song.
But yeah, because already Jelly Roll came out. He sings the beginning of the Randy Orton theme. He has the crowd sing it back to him, and then Randy makes his entrance. I mean, the whole thing is great.
And the whole thing, even when Logan Paul originally interrupted him when he was doing Liar, I mean, that's a fucking great song.
yeah, man, he's really good. Like
Like,
Jelly
I'm not
Roll.
a fan, but like his vibe is like such like Southern R&B country. It's just,
Right.
oh,
And I just, I also saw a video of him where he did a visit to a prison to like there was like some prison program that had him in to speak, and those guys got up on stage with him and
Yep.
performed one of his songs. One guy played guitar, the other guy
Oh,
sang,
wow.
and
Yep.
he was like he's like, these guys are on a program where they're eventually going to get out of prison, they're going to have a job and all this other stuff. And he's like, and I want to show them that there's life after this. They didn't, prison isn't like a death sentence. Shit, you're never going to do anything
Right.
good
It's
again in your
meant
life.
to reform.
Right. And these guys, from what I could see, those guys were really about it. And he felt that they were worthy enough. I mean, at a concert with 20, 30,000 people, and he said, I'm not singing with them. He could have just sang with them and it would have been cool. He goes, I'm not singing with them. This is about them. He stepped back to the side of the stage and it was amazing. The guys killed it. Like, it was a big moment since then I've been a fan because I feel like that's, if you're going to, he started off as a drug dealer and all this other stuff. And he decided, if I'm going to do this new thing and I'm going to be not just a musician, but a really successful one, I'm going to give back. And a lot of people, when they make their money, they're like, fuck you, I got my money. And this guy, seems serious about giving back.
Have you seen his version of War Pigs?
Well, now I have something to look up because my other favorite cover of War Pigs is by T-Pain.
T-Pain, yep. Holy shit.
T-Pain was great.
Yep. But Jelly Roll's War Pigs, holy shit. He blew me away.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to have to listen to that now. And we'll do night 2 on Thursday, but we'll talk about the main event of night 1 right now. CM Punk, who just after ordering the senior special at IHOP, finished his meal, took a cab over to the stadium, and won a world title. I'm glad he was able.
House.
Right, he got the early bird special.
I saw this meme about it said that the reason why he dressed up like the Fantastic Four was because he had a fantastic 4 minutes as champion.
Beautiful. Fucking
Wow.
beautiful. So yeah,
That's
we have
diabolical.
It is. So a lot of the feedback from this match that I'm seeing, and again, I'm biased, so I'm going to try and stay out of this. But the feedback that I've seen is that it wasn't Punk's match with Cena was better. Punk wasn't really looking as good as he could have looked out there. And
Gunther, what the hell was it's a lot different than facing Cena.
And Dave's right. It is this is the most predictable thing. I mean, we've been calling it. We knew that fucking injury with Seth Rollins was hinky. We'll get to that as we keep reviewing. But we knew this was happening. We knew Punk was going to win. Again, this is the problem I keep having with they have a guy like Gunther, and the idea is that he's this unstoppable monster, and then he gets choked out by Jey Uso, and one like little table spot takes him out against CM Punk. It's like, I feel like you should have to hit this guy with a bazooka to beat him. Like, I feel like Punk didn't do enough in this match to beat Gunther, and he still beat him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was a sweep of the leg, and that breaks his orbit. Yeah.
And it really was the table fell on him and broke his orbital bone, I think. I think that's what they're saying happened. But I think it was regardless, they should have said it was from the go to sleep, because that's a knee to the face. Like, they should say that. And then, like, Gunther's out with surgery and all this stuff. It could be CM Punk, the one that took him out because he kneed him in the face.
He needs to come back as a fucking killer.
I still think he bladed himself, to be honest.
He did. Yeah, he definitely bladed himself. He definitely did. But I think he also broke his orbital. Like, I think that's a real thing too.
Oh, it is. That Rhea had that injury.
Yeah. Al, you were there. What was, the match itself, not the cash in yet. The match itself and the response to CM Punk winning. What was the crowd like in that match?
We didn't have a choice, man. CM Punk got his ass whooped like he owed him some money. And I'm not talking about $10.
Nope.
I'm talking about thousands of dollars. Yo, he beat him like he owed him rent for like a year. It was so bad. I've never seen so much oohing and ahhing in a match in my life. It was straight oohing it, like ooh, ah, oh, yeah, oh. Like it was hard. I mean, it was a great match, don't get me wrong, but I realized CM Punk was gonna win. I kept telling Mitch, I'm like, he has to win.
Right.
Mitch is like, why you say that? I'm like, look at him. He just keeps getting his ass whooped. He just had to.
Yeah.
And it was, it's the only way I guess you could put Gunther under if you want to keep him
Right.
strong. It's just him beating the bricks off you. But yeah, if anybody that says that CM Punk didn't go all the way on it, you should get your ass in there and get your ass beat for 45 minutes
Yeah.
and try to do it with a smile on your face and see how far you're gonna go.
Yeah. No, I think that's the match you need to have with Gunther is you get your ass whooped and then you find a way to beat him. I just wish that it was a bigger. I just keep thinking back to like old WWE stuff and like how if somebody was like unstoppable, like Big Show would chokeslam John Cena through a spotlight, or somebody would knocked off the top of the stage and fall through the stage or something. Like Gunther, especially if he ends up going out with surgery, because Dave A says supposedly has a nasal issue that needs surgery. It should be a big spot if you're writing this guy off and CM Punk's taking the title from him. And I know that there was more afterwards, and you didn't want to take away from that moment, but I really feel like they needed one like instead of just the tripping and whatever thing, they needed a big moment where CM Punk got his momentum back.
Yeah.
The only time that somebody did a lot to finally get Gunther to beat him was Sami Zayn, because Jey Uso didn't seem to have any problem, and that was stupid. And same with CM Punk. The Sami Zayn match was good because it took Sammy a lot to finally beat him.
Right, and it seemed like and the whole it was in Philly,
and they could have done that with Jey Uso, but they
No, we've talked about that before. How that match, their second match, was way better on Raw than the WrestleMania match, and the WrestleMania match just didn't have. It just was too. It was again the finish was very abrupt. He was just like, "Oh, I learned a new submission hold, and you tapped out." Just like, "Oh, okay." And Ilya Dragunov's the only person to wrestle Gunther the right way, and they had their NXT UK stuff, but they also had great before that. The reason they got signed is that they had a great feud on the Indies through WXW in Germany, and then some UK promotions like Progress. And yeah, I agree. And he's little, and Gunther's big, and the whole thing works because Ilya, even though he's little, he wrestles like he's got that dog in him.
Right, but even so did the whole he didn't win the matches or whatever, but like the Chad Gable Gunther matches were
great too. Yeah,
the little, and that would have been again the underdog that would have beaten him or whatever. It just seems like you said in these two matches with Jay and Punk, there was no underdog story, especially with Punk because he just got fucking annihilated like the entire match, and then that one little spot causes him to win. It was a little weird.
Right. It should have been
happy with the outcome, both outcomes, I will say, because I like, but I was happy.
Yeah, because that's the story,
it could also lead into the latter end of the match that he got his ass beat so much he didn't even have a chance against Seth Rollins when he got in the ring.
And he didn't because usually in years past in the cash in, the person cashes in and they turn back around, and either the person who got beat up kind of gets back up and does a little comeback, or they hit him with a finisher and they kick out, and then they walk around like, why did I? And then they're like, get up, and then they hit him with another finisher, and then that does it.
Like as good as the first cash in was with Edge, the only problem I had is that he didn't get the pin right away. Cena kicked out first.
Yeah, and it started with the first cash in. It set a bad fucking precedent, and every other time it's been that way, except SummerSlam. Punk was out. He took a stomp. There was no. All right, so let's back up a little bit. Punk wins. He starts crying his crocodile tears, drying his tears with $100 bills from Saudi Arabia. You know, the typical stuff that CM Punk does after a match.
I'm sorry.
You know, it's just funny because, like, I don't know. It's just funny. The whole thing is funny. Like he's crying like he did something, like he actually won a match. You know what I mean? Like, so good acting or whatever, but like it was just so funny to see this. He's doing it and everybody's waiting because everybody knows one way or another Seth Rollins is coming out, whether or not he's injured. So like the celebration's good and all, but we're all waiting. We're waiting for that moment. And then all of a sudden, burn it down. Here comes the music. Rollins walks out with Heyman. Heyman's got the briefcase. He's got crutches. It seems like this is a I'm challenging you later down the line when I'm not on crutches kind of interaction. Rollins turns around to leave, stops, throws the crutches, runs down to the ring, cashes in, and is your new world champion. There was something, from the beginning, thought there was something hinky about that injury because he did 2 flippy spots in a row and then fell down with the injury. And it's like, oh, he injured himself on the first spot. Then why did he still try and do the backflip? It's like, none of it made sense to me. Because as somebody who's torn an ACL, like, I know what it's like. You can't do that anymore. So I was like, I don't know, man.
Injury and they hammed it up. Yeah.
Yeah. And even we all thought it was even just like that, a little tweak of an injury that they sold as something bigger, whatever. So the only thing that would have saved the cash would have been LA Knight to ruin it. Oh no. No. Yeah. But no, there was no ruining. We've got a new world champion. They worked everybody, or they tried to work everybody. They pretended this injury was as legit as possible. They sent Seth Rollins down to Alabama. They sent him to the doctor's office. He had an appointment with them. Like, they did all of this stuff. He was telling friends and family that he was injured. As far as everybody in the locker room knew, they were treating it as an injury, and only a small group of people, Triple H, etc., knew what the actual deal was.
He made his kid fucking lie.
Yeah, no, but his kid told the truth and told the teacher.
Did you hear about? Yeah. So they said, Daddy has a pretend boo-boo and I have to walk around like this. She told the preschool teacher, my daddy's not really hurt.
Oh, that's hilarious. Oh, kiddo.
Die for you. They will throw you under the bus.
Yeah, that's wild. Kids will just say anything. Al, you were
watch.
Yeah, right? Al, you were there. What was what was this moment like? Was Seth Rollins booed as a heel? Was he cheered as a babyface? Give us your take from the ground there.
Cheered to the biggest fucking pop you could ever hear. Because you got to understand, you're talking about probably 85% of those people are drunk adults at that point of the night.
Yeah.
And if you're at night 2, you were probably, for the most part, I believe some of those people were at night 1. And well, I mean, I'm sorry, this was night 1. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm bringing myself back. But just for the sheer joy of him winning the belt and being so dramatic about like winning it and being in the middle of the ring. I've been telling Mitch the whole time, I'm like, he's coming.
Mm-hmm.
He's fucking coming. And then he came out, and it was a pop when he came out with the crutches, right?
Yeah.
But once he turned around and dropped those motherfuckers and started taking off his brace, oh my God. It was like, I'm telling you, it's the biggest roar. Like for me, the roar of the cash-in was bigger than the roar of Brock Lesnar. I just felt like it was that freaking big. Like that cash-in was crazy. Like, at least for me, like that's the way I heard it. Like, it was nuts when it happened, but the thing is that Seth Rollins' roar lasted longer with 2 different reactions in it, right?
Yep.
Because you were elated to see him. Then it was just people like, okay, what is he doing? What is he doing? And then when he dropped, it's just like, oh my God, it's happening. And then he runs to the ring and beats the shit out of him. And then it was a lot and like a little but a lot. Brock was like, holy shit. Here he is again to beat the shit out of John Cena. Because you know what was happening. He was coming to beat the living shit out of John Cena.
Oh yeah.
That was more surprising for me though, because I was not expecting that.
Well, I don't think anybody was.
I don't think anybody. We know Michael Cole wasn't.
No. And again, that was another one where a very small number of people knew he was coming out. And we'll talk night 2 Thursday night, but that was, the two big moments that ended SummerSlam both nights were earth-shattering. You have a new world champion followed immediately by a cash-in, and then you've got Brock Lesnar returning for John Cena's retirement run. And as controversial as Brock Lesnar may be right now, there's no denying that him coming back is a big deal. A lot of fans can kind of compartmentalize that stuff or just outright forget about it and just be like, okay, Brock is back on TV and the other stuff is like whatever's happening in court. It's a big deal. Like
people need to remember Brock puts butts in seats.
It's been proven for over a decade now, at least. And this is the problem with Rollins right now. He's trying so hard to be a heel, but the crowd won't let it happen. This is the same thing that happened when he came back from that knee injury several years ago, and they were all cheering him, and then he immediately turned heel, and everyone was like, "Oh, that's disappointing." And they didn't even really boo; they were just all kind of deflated. Like, for better or for worse, people want to cheer this nerd. Like, he's a dork, and he wears goofy clothing. Everything about him, he should be a heel. The way he acts, the way he laughs, the way he talks, the way he cackles at people, it's
right. But he still has the fucking sing along,
yes,
song.
And
he's so fucking good at it that heel or face don't care. He has again, it's like the same thing like we were talking about like the Riot Squad earlier. Like you wouldn't tell me that Liv Morgan was going to be the Wolverine. You could have never predicted during the Shield that Seth was going to be the one to be the charismatic one that pulls everybody in and everything.
Yeah.
He has it. He's a total package. When it comes to this shit, he doesn't need a belt, but the belt just pushes him so much further in what he does. Like I know everybody was ranking on him like a year or two ago when he was the Raw champion. The person like, oh, it's a secondary belt. It's nothing compared to Roman Reigns and his title or whatever. It was like, it's a totally different dynamic of what he's doing on Raw compared to what was being done on SmackDown. And I can't help it.
I think Rollins makes this belt.
Yeah,
and the reason he makes it is he can make it his.
Yeah,
now
and
what he did originally with it, because everyone between Rollins and his first reign and now, just it hasn't made the belt look as good as Rollins did himself.
But it doesn't matter what belt it is that Rollins has or whatever. He's going to make the best out of anything he gets put into because he's just that good.
And it's about a secondary belt to me, but I'm that asshole.
Secondary belt or not, it's about time because there's always been this plateau of who's better. Seth or Roman. I mean, we know what Mox is doing at AEW is beyond what obviously Seth and Roman are doing.
A whole different thing, yeah.
But in the WWE level, no matter what you freaking give Colby Lopez, he's gonna fucking destroy it because
he's gotta hold this at least until WrestleMania.
I feel like we got to establish long title reigns now, especially they've been bouncing the other world title, and that's the other thing is now with Rollins holding this title, maybe it bounced from Jay to Gunther a couple times, all that stuff, and now the WWE Championship. There was another title change Sunday night. And that kind of changes things because everybody, the assumption was that everybody's assumption is that Cena was carrying the title to December, putting somebody over at the end of the year and riding off into the sunset. That is not the case now. Things have drastically changed on that front. It seems like they've completely reversed course on the heel turn thing as of SmackDown. They addressed it with one line, and that was it. He's back to being a babyface. So I think Seth being a consistent champion would be a great thing for him to hold the title for a while, put somebody over at the end of the year or WrestleMania or whatever, and reestablish that championship. And we'll get into this on Thursday night. I don't know where the fuck you go with Cody. Like he has the title again. That's great.
We'll be here another hour if we fucking talk about that right now.
Yeah, but I think the Raw's in good shape because you've got Rollins. Reigns is involved in this feud. Punk is involved. It seems LA Knight now, Dave Abbey, your buddy LA Knight is involved. And it seems like in the meantime, they're going to have like an LA Knight, maybe LA Knight CM Punk feud to determine who's going to challenge Rollins next. So we'll see what happens with that.
This is setting up for war. That's where we're going. That's where we're headed.
And then Al, what's your take on Rollins being champ now?
Love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I mean, look, he is the workhorse. That's why, like, he's a heel, right? But is he really a heel? Like,
Really?
adults talking here. Like,
Right.
all he's saying is truth. He just wants, he's like Thanos. All he wants is a perfect balance where he is the god and everybody acknowledges him as so. Because he feels disrespected, because the part-time buddies come around and part-time movie stars and everybody fucking loves them. But what about me?
Right.
I'm here 24/7, injury or not, giving you 5-star matches every day of the week. And now you're fucking acknowledging me and it's my time. I don't have a problem with that. And he deserved it in my eyes. So
I do have a problem with you calling Thanos the good guy. He killed Vision.
Twice.
I mean,
well, no, once, but
they
Thanos
could have
is my
taken
vision.
they could have
That's
taken
a
the gem out of
whole
his
other
head, but that's another story.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, I think he's the guy, I think he's the guy to carry it. And I think at the end of this, logically for me, it should be Braun Breaker or Bronson Reed beating him for that title.
Of course.
Correct.
And I think it's probably going to be, well, here's the thing. Braun Breaker, as I'm sitting here saying, I was listening to podcasts earlier and they kept saying they were talking about SummerSlam, they kept saying Braun Breaker. And I'm like, can we just call this guy fucking Steiner and get it over with?
Please.
And so he's like the athletic workhorse guy.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is you've got Bronson Reed, who's no slouch when it comes to in-ring work, but now is like he's stealing shoes, he's talking shit. He's developing such a personality that he might start to overshadow. And Braun Breaker might have always been the choice of like, okay, you're gonna beat Seth. But if Bronson starts showing more personality and gets more over than Braun Breaker, I think you got to pivot and go to that guy.
Or you just have a triple threat and let him
Oh,
just
yeah.
go
Right.
and
like
implode
what
it.
we wanted with the fucking Bray versus Orton, and then have Luke Harper be involved in that too.
I went to that WrestleMania. It was a good WrestleMania. Having Luke Harper in that match would have made it that much better. Because that match was that was when they projected the worms and shit on the ring apron, and it was silly. And Randy Orton had the sperm snake when he went to the ring, and the computer froze. So like halfway down the ring, the sperm snake is just stopped. It's like stopped in one, and then eventually it catches up to him. I was like, what are you guys doing? They really tried to. Oh, and then it ended with the longest Undertaker Roman Reigns match in the world. Oh my God. And then the Undertaker lost. I've been there for both of Undertaker's WrestleMania losses. Do you know what that feels like?
Really?
Yes, I was at
Deflated.
WrestleMania 30, and then I was at WrestleMania, whatever that was, 34?
33.
33, yeah.
This
That's
is my
fine.
yard now.
Yeah,
Oh my God, that pissed me off so bad the next night on Raw when he said that. Oh,
and then they didn't even, that was the opportunity they had to turn him heel at that point, and they didn't turn
And
him
they
heel.
didn't.
Oh, that pissed me off so bad. I was like, dude, you're missing on a prime opportunity to turn him heel.
Yeah. And that was the Raw. Didn't it start with 10 minutes straight of just booing? Like he didn't even say a word. They just booed him.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's the opposite of Hogan the night after WrestleMania 18.
Yeah, dude, that was some of the craziest shit I've ever seen. All he says is it's my yard now, leaves to more booze, and then he's just going back to being a babyface. Like how?
The worst.
They're so lucky they figured it out and turned him heel and
Yeah.
set him up for success.
But that being said, I still
It's very
I'm not-
unpopular when I say this, but I've said it before. The best thing that ever happened to him was that leukemia run.
Yeah. It's weird to think.
But if he
Or-
didn't have that time off to do that, he never would have gotten the fans' support again when he came back because they were thrilled that he was better. And then 6 months later, he's doing the tribal chief and doing
Right,
that.
but
whole
a big
thing with
part
Paul
of that
Heyman.
was Paul Heyman.
Right.
Oh
So
yeah,
the
for
best
sure.
thing to ever hope happen to him is COVID.
Or
Because
leukemia.
COVID is the reason he had to go home because he didn't want to
Right.
be,
That's
you
true.
know.
Yeah, because his leukemia was back. I rest my, you know what I mean? That whole time frame is what made developmental completely change for him into the wrestling ability of everything he's doing right now. Because if none of that shit happened, don't know if this would have happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there would have been no. The big moment for him when he said, "My name is Joe and I have leukemia." Like that really it turned him from just Roman Reigns, Mister wearing a bulletproof vest and all this stuff, to like more of a humanized character. And when he came back, he didn't come back as this exaggerated superhero. He came back as like just an exaggerated version of himself, but not like this like a ridiculous character.
Bullshit that they were making him do. Yep.
Yeah.
Yet another moment that he's missed on a vacation.
Yeah, that was one of those things that set the precedent here, Al, of Steve missing big things when he goes on a cruise. He missed Roman Reigns' leukemia announcement. He missed Vince McMahon's
resignation
and the lawsuit announcement and all that. And then what else did he miss, Kat? You're better with this than I am.
Well, he missed all of this weekend or whatever. Who knows what he knows? Who knows what he knows about WrestleMania? And then the other one was the whole John. He was gone when the whole John Laurinaitis, when the Janelle Grant thing happened. He was away at the beach.
Yeah. And remember, there's still 2 days until Steve gets back. So there's still more that could possibly happen in the wrestling world.
I wish I could be there in the room when Steve either reads the results or watches these shows. I want to see his reaction.
He's going to be pissed on the Karrion Kross shit, man.
Well, yeah, he's going to be pissed about that, but I can't. He's going to see the end of night 2 with Brock. First, he's going to see the end of night 1 with the cash in. Then he's going to see the end of night 2 with Brock Lesnar coming back, and he's going to be like, "I'm never going on a cruise again."
It's a cruise SummerSlam weekend, though. In this group.
Well, the worst part is he had already committed to Al.
Oh, I know.
Mitch.
I know, but that's just hilarious. Oh, every time he goes away, something fucking crazy happens.
So maybe he should go on vacation more, and then we benefit.
Yes.
I think he may have been gone when Bray died too, because I know I texted you.
Yeah, he might have been. I think he was.
I think he was like a day, or I think he was gone the day it happened or whatever, because he
came back the
out
next day.
the next day like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? He had us completely muted. He had no idea about
Yeah, man, that was so. Yeah, Steve leaves, and then things tend to go a little sideways. But this weekend it worked out in our favor because
it was a good weekend. It's okay.
Nobody, and we'll talk about this on Thursday. We're gonna do night 2 results Thursday night, 9 p.m. Same page, same YouTube, all that other shit. I did not have on my bingo card Brock Lesnar coming back, only because I know that there is still an open, and not that he's not named as a defendant in this civil case, but he is named in the evidence and the discovery. He might be called as a witness. There are definitely text messages between him and Vince McMahon that have been entered into evidence. It seems like the heat is hot. The response from WWE is that their legal team cleared him, which is great and all, but that's like an internal human resources kind of investigation. There is still an open and active lawsuit in which he's involved. And it just seems like maybe
Grant's statement was not pretty at all.
Yeah, I saw that as well. So it seems like a weird decision to bring him back before, because if she settled or the lawsuit got dismissed, or even we got through the whole lawsuit a decision was made against Vince McMahon, and if he had to pay out or whatever the case was, we have all the facts in front of us. The text messages and all that would be submitted as evidence, and you'd see the full case laid out. You'd have all this as public record, and then you could feel however you want to feel about Brock Lesnar afterward. It would just seem like if I was running this billion-dollar corporation, I would wait until this big-name superstar gets cleared legally of being involved in this thing before bringing him back.
But don't forget, though, this is a man that's also married to the woman that filed sexual harassment lawsuits against Vince McMahon and everything herself. Rena Lesnar has filed a lot of shit against the WWE and Vince McMahon particularly, and he still goes back to the same company. Maybe it's a new era, obviously, with Paul Levesque, but if I'm Rena, I wouldn't be thrilled about anything about working in the WWE or anything. You know what I mean?
No, and it just seems like now, I don't want to talk politics on this show, but factually, last week leading up to SummerSlam, Triple H was invited to the White House to announce the president's physical fitness tests are coming back to schools, and that him and several other professional athletes are on a board for the Trump administration's physical fitness initiative. And he made a speech. He was there with Trump. The White House put out a social media video of Triple H walking into the Rose Garden and spitting water out of his mouth while playing It's All About the Game. Like, regardless of who you voted for, that's a weird thing to have happen. And then you have Lesnar come back. And then you realize, like, Dana White, there's a video of Dana White slapping his wife out there, and he's not fired from the UFC, or he didn't get suspended from the UFC. Conor McGregor, John Jones, still employed by the UFC.
But the president's run thing and everything that they're doing that. The other person that is involved and on the board on that is fucking Lawrence Taylor.
We got 2 WrestleMania main eventers.
We don't count that.
No, I know, but it's just
but Lawrence Taylor's, but LT's record and everything too. Yeah. Come on, he's a convicted sex offender.
Yeah, and drug user. But what I'm saying is now the Trump thing stuff happens. The Brock Lesnar comes back before this lawsuit's settled. Once you start looking into who TKO is, WWE and UFC, you can see who they're run by. Dana White's very good friends with Donald Trump. Like, if you are not a conservative, you could look at this and go, these guys are all MAGA Trump supporters, and they don't care about cancel culture and all this other stuff, and they are going to put Brock Lesnar, who may or may not have asked for a woman to sleep with him in exchange for signing a new contract. You know what I mean? Like, it just feels like all of that together just makes a weird picture of the company seeming like we can just do what we want to do because we're aligned politically with the president. So if anything bad happens,
he got our back.
We're kind of covered. Yeah.
We're getting pardoned. Exactly.
And with the settlement from Paramount, or whatever that is, you know, they had to pay $40 million or whatever for the interviews that they did and how they edited them and all that, which kind of not directly led, but kind of in a way led to the cancellation of the Stephen Colbert Show. It's not like there isn't a precedent where politically somebody can step in from a higher power and just kind of make things happen. So they're kind of, you know, I wonder if they're walking a fine line of like, we have to be on this guy's side so that we can do what we want to do. Like, I don't know. It's all very weird.
Well, don't forget to add into that equation is who's the secretary of the Department of Education.
Yes. I always forget sweet Linda.
Linda McMahon.
Listen, she's a sweet lady. And I think the Small Business Administration is right where she should have been, because every time when she ran for office several times, I went to go see her speak because I wanted to see if she was legit. And everything that she spoke about spoke to her and Vince starting a small business and making it a multi-million-dollar publicly traded company.
Absolutely.
And when I listen, I'm like, okay, she seems like she knows what she's talking about when it comes to business. I have
Not
no
just part of education, it doesn't.
exactly. And just for the record, me and her graduated from the same university, the University of Hartford.
Oh wow.
There is not a single, I think she got her master's there and I got my bachelor's there. I don't think there's a single person I know from the University of Hartford that I would want in a government position. And that's not a knock on anybody. I'm just saying.
Well, she also she lied about her credentials. She said that she got a degree in teaching French and is like whatever, and that's not what she graduated for. She has no experience to be in the Department of Education whatsoever.
Yeah, and like I said, I think small business is right in her wheelhouse where she should have
What
been.
they're
Like she knows.
and that's not even a negative thing against Linda McMahon because, like you
Guys,
said,
excuse me,
I
I have to
kinda like
go.
her.
Yeah, we should
Right.
pack up anyway. But all right, Al, have a nice night. Go
Have a
eat your
good night,
dinner.
by the ladies, right?
See you.
Okay.
Dude, his wife waits to make dinner for him until 10, and we kept him.
No, that's just in the microwave already.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Bye.
Now it's in the microwave. I had a feeling. All right, go eat your
Good night,
food.
brother.
Have a good night.
Bye, sweetheart.
Oh man, we'll finish up real quick. But yeah, Dave, Abby, how much better when Brock came out and went after Rollins on night 1?
Ooh,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have hated it, but it doesn't match with the feud.
Right. Terry, and he's a Vince guy. Yeah, that's the other thing is now there's so much speculation that's like, oh, if Cena, the rumors that Cena wanted Brock back, then Cena says, hey, they deal the cards and I'll play him. And then then it's like, oh, well, we called Brock and we told him it's time to come home and he said, okay. So there's no real story, like true story about what happened. But
Well, we'll see what he has to say on Friday.
yes, because he should be there on Friday. But it would be weird because the rumblings are out there. They're like, well, if they bring Brock back, does Vince come out for Cena's retirement at some point? Yeah.
If you did notice last week, though, so for the Monday Night Raw, you're absolutely right, Dave Abby. If you watched the Monday Night Raw tribute last week to Hulk Hogan,
Yeah.
that reel had Vince McMahon in it. The one on SmackDown originally did not. The one they did on Monday night actually had footage of Hulk Hogan with Vince McMahon.
All right. And that makes a lot of sense now. So again, we're starting to see some little things come together. And I'm not saying Vince McMahon's coming back to the WWE. What I'm saying is it's not outside the realm of possibility that Vince McMahon makes an appearance at John Cena's retirement.
Correct.
Very possible.
If he makes an appearance or does some certain little things like that or whatever, I don't have a problem with that because it's like the same thing like with the Hulk Hogan thing or whatever. The contributions to what this man made to professional wrestling and what he did, he absolutely deserves the accolades for. He does not belong being in charge of the
Right.
WWE anymore.
If he made a one-off appearance, it would probably be okay as long as it was just like, hey, look who's in the crowd, and he kind of waves, like, you know what I mean?
Right.
That would be whatever, sure. But anything
like
past
Linda,
that,
like the one, like the zoom in of Linda in the skybox with the Bella twins. I didn't have a problem with
right?
that.
Exactly.
Like,
It's a very quick thing.
That don't bother me, but he does not his branding, his marketing, his anything or whatever. First off, he was already getting way behind the times with booking and shit before
Yeah.
he was.
Oh, yeah.
he was making the product go to shit. But with all of the, like I said, allegations, because we don't know everything yet, so I'm going to be fair and not say he did this, and this. But with everything surrounding him, be really big mistake for TKO if they let him back in.
Right, and I don't think they will. So Dave, she's there to shut down the Department of Education. That makes sense then. Like, here's the thing: as somebody involved in a business and business acquisitions, you're probably used to swallowing up another smaller company and like liquidating their assets and all that stuff. So it's very possible that she's using her small business, acumen here to liquidate that department.
Oh no, that's exactly what she's
Right.
trying to do. And like I said, but at whose expense? The kids.
You see, we're not just dopes. We follow the rest of the world. We don't just talk about wrestling. We're locked in. Would you be against it? Now, here's the thing, Dave. I'm not against Vince McMahon being inducted into the Hall of Fame, but I feel like this is going to be a Pete Rose situation where they're going to have to wait until Vince, like, if he's found guilty and has to pay millions of dollars to Janelle Grant, they are unfortunately going to have to wait for Vince McMahon to die to put him in the Hall of Fame that next year.
Correct. that would be the same thing like all the people that petition that want every year or whatever that still want like Chris Benoit in the
Right.
whole. It's a
And it's,
very, very touchy obviously two different scenarios of reason.
right.
But if he's guilty too, then when it's forms of criminal activity, that's where it kind of becomes a
Right.
slippery slope.
Because even then, at one point, they took Hulk Hogan off the Hall of Fame section of the website during that whole Bubba controversy with the tapes. And I believe they removed Jimmy Snuka because now he's,
Yeah, but Hulk Hogan was reinstated. Jimmy Snuka never has been.
right. And I think that's the precedent. And I think if Vince McMahon, it's not
Yeah.
criminal, he's not going to be a convicted felon, but I think him being, if he gets found guilty, him being inducted into the Hall of Fame would have to happen after he passes away.
Yeah,
I think that's just the long and short of it.
And it's a shame that it's such a tarnishment to his career because, we wouldn't be having these conversations today about SummerSlams, WrestleManias, or anything had it not been for like Vince McMahon and even Hulk Hogan. But
I was thinking, I had that exact same thought earlier today as I was listening to more podcasts kind of talk about Brock Lesnar and Vince McMahon and all this stuff. And it's like, there seems to be this correlation of people who are very driven to succeed and to make money and to have a successful business. They have all of these very positive ways to kind of get that out, but then they also have these other ways that they express themselves that end up being like, whether it's like Michael Jordan is a great basketball player, great guy from all accounts. He's a degenerate gambler. Same thing with Charles Barkley, degenerate gambler. You look at John Daly, world champion golfer. He's an alcoholic. Like you have all these guys who are at the top of their games and then have this thing in their cloud. Harvey Weinstein. Like all you have to do is you just produce movies and you're a millionaire. Why do you have to like pull your dick out in front of actresses and shit like that? You know what I mean?
But the difference is though, Harvey Weinstein, again, criminal activity.
Right.
John Daly, alcoholic. John Daly doesn't
Right.
have a DUI like when he killed somebody or did anything like that.
Right. Yeah.
It's even like I said, we all know, we had this conversation a couple of weeks ago. We know Hulk Hogan was a piece of, I'm sorry, we know Terry Bollea.
Right.
Hulk Hogan is not a piece of shit. Terry Bollea was. We know what he said. We know what he did. Then you have to separate the person from that. But Hulk Hogan didn't do anything criminal.
Right.
He did stupid shit. There is a huge difference. Regardless if you can't, I don't think, like, unless they can prove money laundering in any way, shape, or form, I don't think there's any way to put a criminal activity on what necessarily Vince McMahon did. You would have to,
Right.
he moved the money around at the right spots, but you can't, can you prove it? So then again, he would be convicted civilly, not criminally.
Yeah.
That's different. You know what I mean? So then again,
It
we
is
go
a
to
whole
that
other
whole,
thing.
we go to that whole variation, like again, like you said, like Jimmy Snuka, that was a crime. Chris Benoit, that was a crime.
Right.
If Chris Benoit was alive and he did what he did to Nancy and Daniel, which again, we all know my conspiracy theories on it. But again, if that is the truth and he was alive, he belongs in jail. You don't belong in the Hall of Fame. Plain and simple.
Right. Yeah.
Where do we draw that line? Where do we draw that line when it comes to Vince McMahon is still kind of iffy, because if you're talking about all of his contributions, 1,000,000%.
Yeah.
But he hasn't been convicted of anything yet.
Right. I think we're really in a wait and see mode here of how far this goes. Does it get thrown out? Does it get settled? Does it go to trial? What comes out during the trial is going to be important.
But actually, you know what? I do kind of take that back a little bit, because, I mean, the whole steroid investigation in the 90s, too, was a big whole thing for him also as well.
Yeah, but he was found not guilty.
Correct. So, but establishment of pattern, that's why everybody forgave Vince McMahon the first time. But was he really guilty is the other question.
Well, I mean, if you watch Dark Side of the Ring, they have their opinions, and I have my opinions. But, again, you can't prove it. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. So with like this whole thing or whatever, like, okay, this isn't going to be the first time he went on trial if it goes to trial. But then again, like you said, if they just settle this whole thing again, is that an admission of guilt?
Yeah, and I think the other thing with the steroid thing is he might not have walked up to every individual superstar and said, "Take steroids or you're fired." He never said that, but they noticed guys like Hogan and Warrior and Macho would get juiced to the gills, and then all of a sudden they'd get a push. So I think it was whether or not he said it.
Baby Boy Smith, absolutely.
Right. There was whether or not he said it, there was an expectation that if you were going to be a big name superstar, you had to be shredded.
Yeah, like I said, the Warlord didn't get that figure on his own.
Yeah, exactly. My favorite story before I read, David Roscoe, Brock Lesnar is a Scott. I think he means Steiner, Scott Steiner wannabe, or Scott Stevens might be somebody else who I don't know, like a hockey player, like because David knows hockey and stuff. My favorite Warlord story is Warlord was in the locker room and he was looking for somebody to inject steroids into him, and he gave the needle to Shawn Michaels, and the Warlord bends over and pulls his jocks down so that he could get the steroid in his butt. But his butt was so muscly and then also had a lot of, like, he got so many injections in it that Shawn barely got the needle in. And then when he pushed it, the plunger, the fluid wouldn't go in.
Oh shit.
And Shawn looks at him. He goes, Warlord, what? He goes, I think you're full.
Oh my God.
It's like he couldn't get it in. He couldn't get the plunger in. He's like, I think you're full.
That dude was so fucking jacked.
Oh my, yeah. I'm surprised. He's another one I'm surprised is still. I'm glad he's alive, but like, holy shit, you'd think he was one.
Oh my God.
Yeah. TKO, of course, I think would settle, but it's really TKO is mentioned in the lawsuit, and I'm sure because they're mentioned separately, they can settle separately. I don't think Vince McMahon is going to settle this at all.
No.
He's not the kind of guy.
No. He's gonna, like, again, to get political, but like I said, he's gonna pull a Trump. I'm innocent. There's no proof, or yada yada yada, and come up with fake news. Absolutely.
Right. Yeah, they're going to try and establish that. And people are already coming up with excuses for Brock of like, oh, he was just he was agreeing with his boss because he was worried about his position in the company. He didn't want to get fired, so he just kept saying yes to Vince McMahon and like baby-faced him. And I'm like, I don't know if I agree with all that.
I don't buy that. I don't know all of the Brock Lesnar part. We've never seen that information. The part about everything about with Johnny Ace, John Laurinaitis, I 1,000,000% believe that John Laurinaitis did all the shit they're saying he did, because that dude's been a creepy son of a bitch for years. And why would Kathy Garcia then divorce him if she really believed that he was innocent?
Yeah, I think he's definitely involved. Here's kind of what I think my take on the situation with Brock Lesnar is. From everything that we've seen, and then there's very little we have. There might be a couple screenshots out there from the initial filing, but from what I understand, Brock Lesnar didn't say to Vince McMahon, in order to renew my contract, I want to sleep with your assistant. From what it seems like, Vince McMahon said, hey, Brock, I have this 2-year or 3-year contract extension for you. If you sign it, I'll let you sleep with my assistant. And Brock, I hate to listen. I don't want to run in this guy in public. Brock does not seem like the brightest guy in the world.
Correct. You're reading it exactly the way I do. I think it was, I don't want to say it was a setup. I know what you're saying, but there was something that he really believed that Janelle was an active participant, not being forced.
Right. And also, I think Brock was like, I get money, I get pussy. Sounds good to me. Like he didn't put it out. It was offered to him.
Right. I don't think that's why I think, kind of, like I said, this is going to sound really weird from a feminine point of view, but I totally get where you're coming from, because like you said, he's not the sharpest tool in the shed. I think he really thought that this was consensual.
Yes.
I think he thought, okay, like, why wouldn't I, like you said, why wouldn't I get laid or whatever? Like, he really believed that she was in on this and didn't have a problem with it. That's more plausible to me. I mean, like I said, he's got Rena to go home to.
Yeah. But if it was an open secret that Vince McMahon was into swinging or whatever it was, then maybe he was like, all right, if he's into swinging, he's dating this girl, she must be in an open relationship thing. She's down to do this. Yeah, he probably did think that she was giving the okay for this, and it wasn't just a guy offering his fucking girlfriend. Like, it's such a weird,
Right.
oh, it's such a weird thing.
I buy Vince McMahon telling Janelle, if you want to keep your job, you're going to do this, 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 and this, because we all know about the history of backstage with women and
Right.
everything and wrestling, but he acts like he's up there with some of the bullshit, like whatever, with like what Fabulous Moolah did. No
Right.
question. We know that. But like I said, I hate to, I'm not blaming Janelle like in a victim blaming thing or anything
Right.
like that. He absolutely 100% was a victim. I
Mm.
kind of am on the fence of thinking that Brock was a victim of it too.
Yeah, I don't think he was a victim. So much of it was so much as he was like we said, he was just offered something, and he was like, "Okay, sure, if that's what you're offering."
Victim, I mean, in the naivety that he didn't know that this was,
Yeah.
you know, like I said, consensual. Like that. Oh wait, so she's willing to do this. She wants it. Okay, great. Hook me up. I mean, not that I'm condoning cheating on Rena or anything like that, but
Right.
you
Yeah,
know,
but you
but
don't know what they're doing. You know, it's so different nowadays. There are so many different open.
the WWE, they've all said it in the WWE. Sometimes
Yeah.
what happens, the road stays on the road. This isn't like
Right.
like I said, we know Enzo Amore didn't do anything, but like when those original allegations came up or whatever, like I'm saying, they're jumping to conclusions on a lot of things
Yeah.
that's not there yet. So like when everyone was like all weekend, like, oh my God, they left that sexual predator back in the W. I was like, how do you know that?
Right, but that's the problem. We don't know that yet, so it's like I feel like they should have waited a little longer to bring him back. That's
I
kind of
agree
my
with that 1
yeah.
million percent. I agree with that 1 million percent. I think this should have been resolved first.
Yeah.
But if the payoff is the fact that this is going to be the last time that we're going to see John Cena and Brock Lesnar,
Right.
and if John Cena specifically requested on his list of people he wanted to face before he left being Brock Lesnar, the WWE would be missing out on having that one final spot because Brock's
Right.
not going to be able to do this much longer either.
Yeah. No, and I understand. Listen, it all makes sense business-wise. It just optics seems like a weird time to bring him back. I mean, but again, we're on a limited timeline with John Cena. He's only here until December. He only has 11 more dates left, so we gotta do what we gotta do. It's just
like I said,
the timing
don't-
is so weird.
I don't love it, but I don't hate it either. I
Right,
get
yeah.
it.
I also,
Like-
and we'll get into this on Thursday. I think John Cena should have kept the title because Brock versus Cena for the title one more time is
We were talking
way
about
more important.
Yeah, it would have been more of a headline or whatever. Yep.
Yeah, and
I
that's all
agree.
right. Yeah, and good night, Tara. Thank you for tuning in. We weren't even going to do a show today. I was fully prepared to do like 30 minutes and be like, all right, we'll talk about SummerSlam on Thursday because nobody seemed to be coming in. And then everybody
Yeah, like-
came in.
Got off the phone with a client. Oh, Kat, if you want to jump on for 5-10 minutes. Yeah, sure, I'll be there. Hang on,
We
give
were
me 2
just gonna
minutes.
I was literally just going to talk to Al about how it was in the stadium that day, any big reactions and all that, and then be like, all right, we'll do a full review on Thursday. And then we
Yeah,
did the full review.
So I didn't think we were going on tonight. And then about 10 minutes later, like it's 10 after 9, I'm like, oh shit, wait, nope, I can do this.
Yeah, so I guess it was good that I didn't actually set the show up earlier today, or that Steve didn't set the show up last weekend, because then we ended up getting everybody, because you and Eric were able to come in. And then on Thursday, for those of you still tuning in, we'll be back Thursday night, 9 p.m. The Chairman's going to come back. You know that's going to be spicy. Ryan, who we haven't seen since one of the WrestleMania recap shows, is going to be back. I'm going to see who else we can get. I know me, Al, and Kat are going to be there. I think Eric has to work early in the morning, so he might not be there. But we're going to have a full boat on Thursday to talk about night 2 of WrestleMania because,
I'm gonna beg him.
yeah, dude, night 2. And there was so much going on this weekend with basically 2 separate pay-per-views because you had a bunch of world titles and important matches on both nights. We would have been really rushing to get through all of those in one night. So we're going to do Thursday night, 9 p.m., another special edition to go over night 2, talk about more about Brock Lesnar, John Cena, Cody Rhodes, all that stuff. Because I cannot talk about Cody Rhodes in 5 minutes. I need to discuss this whole situation much longer than 5 minutes because it just doesn't make it. Doesn't make sense. It doesn't. Maybe it'll make sense on Friday, but it doesn't make sense right now.
Correct.
Why
Right.
John Cena lost that match? we all kind of assumed John Cena would go undefeated until December, put somebody over big, and ride off into the sunset. And that is now not what's happening. So we shall see. We'll be back Thursday. Follow us at Tag Me a Date on social media. That's on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter /X. Most platforms is at Tag Me a Date. Give us a follow. The TikTok is The War Report Podcast, all one word. The Instagram and the TikTok, we post reels and shorts of what we discussed the week prior, leading up to our Tuesday night show. We broadcast Tuesday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern time on both Facebook and YouTube. On Facebook, you type Tag Me a Date into the search bar, like the page, and then the live stream will go into your news feed. If you go to YouTube, you type in Tag Me a Date, and you find our channel. Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell, and then when we go live, you'll get that notification. You can tap on it and go right to the show. That will be especially handy on Thursday. That's a night we don't usually go live, so you can be reminded by hitting the subscribe button and notification bell on YouTube. It's going to be very handy for you. And then if you are listening to the audio version, or you prefer an audio version rather than the video version, you can just go to your favorite podcast app, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Spotify, Google Play Podcast, Apple Podcast, type in The War Report, type in Tag Me a Date. You'll find us. There is another War Report podcast out there that talks about pro wrestling, but our graphic that is in the top right corner, our logo, our names, all that stuff will be in the description. You can just hit subscribe on your podcast app. And when the audio version is uploaded by Ryan, it just goes right there. It downloads to your phone so you can take it with you wherever you are going throughout the day, where you are listening to your podcasts. On your way out, if you could leave a like or a share or any of that stuff, we really appreciate it. The more people know about it, the more people watch, the better it goes in the algorithm. So likes, shares, comments, all of that helps. Thanks to Dave, David, Tara, and everybody else for tuning in tonight. We actually got more people tuning in the longer the show went, which was crazy. Like, I didn't realize people would be like, oh, the show's already been going for an hour and 20 minutes. Let's tune in and see what they're talking about. It's like,
Listen, we'll take it.
I'll tell you, it's just, it would be like jumping in the middle of a conversation, though. So if you were listening and you only caught like the last half hour or so, scroll on back. We got a whole discussion about SummerSlam. Al was there live. He can give us a perspective. Maybe Mitch will come back and tell us what it was like live on Thursday. But we're going to be back Thursday, 9 p.m. for a special show discussing Night 2 of SummerSlam. And then we'll be back on our regular evening, Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern for another edition of The War Report. Holy shit, we went for 2 hours. That's crazy. I should have put the ribs in the oven before the show. I could have slow cooked the ribs in the time we did this show.
Oh my God, you didn't put them in yet?
Well, no, because I took a nap and then I woke up and I
Oh,
was like, oh,
geez.
Steve's gonna set the show up, and then I realized I needed to set the show up. Like, if I didn't take a nap, I would have been
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So I might do ribs tomorrow. I don't know. I'm gonna see. I have some other stuff. I have salmon in the freezer. Maybe I'll do salmon and then I'll do the ribs tomorrow when I've got more time.
Yeah, salmon is a lot quicker.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll figure it out. I'm going to go raid my fridge right now. But thanks, guys, for tuning in. We'll be back next week we'll be back Thursday night at 9 p.m. and then Tuesday, our regular night, 9 p.m. for the War Report. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Have a great week. See you Thursday. See you Tuesday.